All right. Hello, everyone. This is Elder Reyes. I am your host of the Vet Blueprint YouTube channel. Um, if this is your first time watching, what I do is I interview successful veterans that have made a smooth transition or have made the transition from military life over to civilian life. Basically, just ask them a couple of questions. And my goal with this YouTube channel community is to provide some advice, some tips, some clues for our men and women who are leaving the military now and go into civilian life. So whether you did 4 years and you're getting out, or 8 or 12 or 30, every one of us could use some help. I know I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. People helped me out. I had some challenges. So this is my goal with this channel, with this community. So if you are a vet, or you know of a vet who's done very well, or you know somebody that's getting out, please bring them over to the channel so they can kind of get, watch the interviews, hopefully get some advice, and get some benefit from this, get some value. But today I'm super excited. I got a good friend of mine. I've known this gentleman since like seventh grade, I think, or the seventh.
Yeah.
Yep, seventh grade. He was in the military. I'm gonna let him tell his story. But you know, beautiful family, doing very well. But I'll let him tell his story. So, Kevin, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for inviting me, Elder.
Awesome, man. So first and foremost, Kevin, what service were you in? How long did you do? And what was your job in the military?
Okay. I did 4 years in the U.S. Air Force.
Okay.
For me, I served from 1996 to 2000. So I did my 4 year, left honorably. And my job in the U.S. Air Force was military intelligence.
Oh wow! Wow. Okay, that's impressive. Okay, so then when you got out the military, kind of walk us through that, man. What were some challenges or some issues, or maybe some things you were worried about? If you could kind of take us back to that time when you were getting out, making the transition from, like, being in the military to civilian life.
One of the first things that I had to mentally get over was the challenge of leaving the uniform life, putting that away, and going over to the civilian sector. So even though it had only been 4 years, I think one of the biggest transitions for most individuals is that we typically go into the military. Most military individuals go right out of high school. So they have no life experience as
Yep.
being an adult and being a young man and woman out in the world other than in a uniform. And in a uniform, everything is controlled. From when you get up to when you go to bed, your drills. So everything is regulated. Everything is predetermined as to what you're going to do.
Yep.
And one thing that kind of scared me was just the initial shock that, all right, I wasn't going to have that anymore. Someone telling me what to do, it was all on my own. So while there was the freedom of having my time back, one of the things that really scared me was not knowing what was going to come tomorrow, i.e., a job, i.e., bill, still having those bills, and getting over that mental hurdle was one of the biggest things that I had to mentally prepare myself for.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I agree, because I was thinking back then. I remember back then thinking, like, man, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I had a car payment, or where I was
Yeah,
gonna move to, or what I was gonna
right.
do. Because I'll be honest with you, I left the military and I was a very generous with my spending. you
Yeah,
know, I was, like,
as all are in the military.
yeah,
You
like, I
know,
didn't.
you work hard, but you enjoy your off time.
I did a lot of the enjoying. That's what I did. I did a lot of the enjoying. Um, Good, man. No, I completely can agree, can sympathize with you on that one, man. So then you got out, you had some of those issues. What were some of the things that worked out for you very well, that you did when you got out, that you would recommend other people do, that helped you do the transition?
One of the things that I did, and I recently did, as I transitioned from, being a DoD contractor here recently, but something I did when I was in the military, transitioning over to the civilian world, was I went and I had a resume writer go and revamp my whole resume.
Okay.
I've always thought that I knew how, pretty smart guy, knew how to
Yep.
write, articulate. But when a resume holder, both the times they got a hold of my resume, two different individuals, they told me that no, what you have on paper is not what will get you to an interview. So they use certain keywords and searches depending on what you're looking for and the type of job you're looking for and your certain skill sets and background. So there's keywords that they look for in a resume that if you're not a resume writer or a professional HR person that deals with that, you don't know how to formulate those words and you will
Right.
never even get an interview. So you can fit the job to a T and you're sitting there wondering, why do I not even get the interview? And a lot of it has to do with the very first thing before anything, which is the resume. You never get an opportunity to sell yourself until you get to the front door.
Right.
So to me, the resume is what's going to allow you the opportunity to actually get through that front door.
Man,
So
okay.
I would look into if you can't afford having a resume writer, there are resume tools online that you can
Okay. That's a
really.
good point. Yeah. Are there any that you recommend that you've used online before that you've seen or?
You know what? I used some when I got out back in 2000, so I can't recall.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's back in AOL days. I'm an old man over here.
I'm with you.
But,
Yeah.
but one of the things that I did was I went to LinkedIn, and the current resume writer that I use, she was LinkedIn's 2018 resume writer and HR professional of the year.
Oh
And
wow.
believe it or not, her resume services were not expensive at all. She did my resume, she did my LinkedIn profile, she did my pictures, and it was a three-digit number. It wasn't four. It was just a three-digit number for her to do that. And I'm telling you, I went from, I'm still working right now toward finishing, my MBA right now, but she kicked open so many doors with just that.
Wow.
It was a game changer.
Wow. Resume. Okay. That's I've done like 30 of these interviews and I have not heard. Okay. Boom. That's definitely something that I'll recommend. What do you do now, Kevin? What's your job today? What are you doing now?
All right, what I do right now, I'm a program manager for a medical device company.
Okay.
So we make devices that lay in hospitals, EROs, urgent care type devices. And so my job is on a day-to-day basis is to make sure all the functions from regulatory, from document control, from the scientists, from R&D. I'm the in between the executives and the managers who manage the people that perform all those functions
Oh
to
wow.
device
Oh.
on a day-to-day kind of basis. And so one of the things that we do, we're regulated by the FDA. So I know a lot of us are used to the DoD, but FDA, Federal Drug Administration, is another arm of the federal government that regulates um, medical devices and that thing. So my job is to make sure that we're up to speed on the things that we put the pamphlets that come inside, whether it's medicine or devices, to say that we need X, Y, and Z, is that we're always within those scope and that we're always meeting those claims. And when we don't, we either self-report or the FDA voluntarily, unannounced, come knocking on our door every couple months and hey, let me inspect, let me look through. That isn't here. Why you have 2-3 months to go and fix this, and then we're working like crazy to get that addressed and fixed. So my job is to know a little bit about the whole company,
Wow. Okay.
report it back to the president, the CEO, stuff like that.
Perfect. When you got out the military, is this the job you was going for, or you kind of just threw? Go ahead. So talk a little bit about that, because I think that's super important, because I think when we leave, so I was IT in the Marine Corps, right?
Okay.
And I thought I was going to get out and be like a network engineer or something, and I'm
Yeah.
so far from that now? Like I've been in sales and real estate, so many other things. So let me. Is this the career you plan for after the military, or walk us through that little journey, man? That's I always find that very interesting. Yeah.
Not at all. One of the things that I think the military helped me do is to build confidence in myself. Not that I know the answer or that I know it all or that I'm even a smart guy, but that I'm smart enough to be able to research and to be dedicated enough to stick with something once I started. So for me, it was I got out and I thought I wanted to be FBI,
Oh wow.
CIA. And I decided against that because really the pay wasn't that good.
Okay. It costs, right? It costs to be the boss a little bit.
Yeah, they make it seem cool on TV, but the pay wasn't. I looked at long term what the pay was going to be, and it was not impressive.
Right.
So I said, forget that. And so then I got a job working in IT. And what's so funny is I had a security clearance in the Air Force to have access to certain silos. I had an SCI, top secret clearance, had access to certain areas. So the IT folks on the base didn't have clearance to go down there. So they basically asked me would I want to do some OJT while I was in the military to learn how to update the servers because we had Unix servers, we had Windows servers at the time. Do you want to learn how to update, put patches, and work on these systems?
Wow.
And so they gave me systems administrators, right, and did OJT with me on the unclass side. And so I would go and update the system. And so that's how it's one of those things like when I was in the military, I was always pushing and pushing and pushing to see how much more I can learn. Or I was always had an inquisitive mind.
Yep.
And so I just continued that thing while I was in. So when I got out, I got an IT job with Lockheed Martin.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
The world's largest defense contractor.
Yep.
They build the F-22, F-35, as well as a whole host of different other armaments and bombs. So I worked for them until 2017, and then went to another DoD company called Northrop Grumman for 2 years, and then actually got. Remember, I told you I hired this lady resume writer.
Okay.
Resume. She redid my resume. I started getting hits all outside of the DoD. And then it opened my mind that, would I be willing to leave the DoD? And I kind of compared that to when I was in the military, how all I knew was the military and it was scared to get out. And so right now I've been in DoD for almost 20 years.
Wow.
And
Okay.
was I willing to take the jump and learn and take that risk? And I decided to do it, no lie, because the money was right.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
And so, and I was getting paid really well in the defense sector, but I'm getting paid really well now. And so it was really all about the money. But to me, I wasn't chasing the paper. I was getting stagnant in my job at Northrop Grumman. And I got tired of the monotonous doing the same thing every day.
Mm.
And I look for variety, and I always want to look to learn because to me, I feel like when you're not learning, you're slowly dying.
Yep. Love it, man. So I know you sound like you're making all this money, man. Can I hold $10? No, I'm just joking. That's what you. So. So, oh man, that's good. Okay, so here, let's do this for me. Let's just say travel back in time. What would Kevin today tell Kevin getting out of the Air Force? Do this instead of doing this. What would you recommend to someone right now getting out? Let's just say if they sat in front of you and said, Kevin, what should I do right now to prepare me to be successful for a smooth transition? What would you recommend?
One of the first things I would do is, like I said, if you're looking to potentially transition, get your resume out, and I'm not talking about months. I'm talking about like a year before you're ready to leave,
Okay.
and set it up to where your resume makes it seem like you're not even in the military right now to see if you get hits. I actually got hits while I was in, and they tell you to wait. 20 years ago, they tell you to wait I think you were 3 to 4 months out or something like
Yep,
that.
that sounds about right.
That was too scary, man. I wanted to have something sooner than then. And so,
Right.
so for me, I started about a year in advance networking with some of the civilian contractors on base that I work with. And so what I would do is I would make it a conscious effort for me to go out and shake a hand with an individual from a company or organization I wanted to be with. So I would
I
literally,
love that. I love it. Say that again. What'd you say? Shake a hand?
I would go out, reach out, shake a hand to
Yep.
any organization that I wanted to be affiliated with. Because for me, someone can give me something, but it's nothing like going up and getting it for yourself, earning it, and no one can take that from you. So I always had the drive and the hunger. I may not have done it right. I've fallen on my face a million times, but I would say for that person that's looking to transition, continuously put yourself out there and do not care about what your peers or your friends, or sometimes you think they're your friends, what they say about you. Because the only thing that's going to matter in the end is yourself and your family. So do everything with that in mind, and try to, whether you're religious or spiritual, just try to do the right thing. We all have a compass in us. I think if you're not a terrible person, you all have a moral compass. You know if you're doing the right thing, and if you know you're doing the right thing, just keep pressing, and
Awesome.
do not be scared.
I love that, man. I love it. So the career that you're in now, or the path that you went down now. So if I wanted to be a program manager, for the company that you're at now, like what are the steps? What would one have to do to kind of to be where you're at, Kevin, right now?
The one thing you have to have is a STEM degree. They want you to have a science, technology, engineering, or mathematics degree,
Okay.
which luckily I have. I started off, it's all baby steps. I started
Yep.
off taking classes while I was just online. I deployed a lot. Of the 4 years total, which included basic training, tech school, which is 6 months, 7 months, I was deployed for 2 years and 7 months. So I stayed deployed, but I always stayed taking a class, trying to learn. And so I eventually got my AA a couple years after I got out of the military. Then I got my bachelor's, and then close to finishing my MBA. So I would just say continuous growth, but you would need a STEM degree is what you would need. And really what you would need is to be able to have some sort of experience in project or program management.
Boom.
So a lot of that is less of telling people what to do, but more of showing them how you can help them execute their job in a more efficient or better way. So a lot of my job is kind of like process improvement. Okay, what are you doing? Can you show me? Okay, why do you do that? Well, can you loop this here instead of going this long way to do this one problem? Well, I never thought about that. Well, what hinders you? Well, if there's no restriction, if there's nothing but benefit, and there's a cost benefit analysis, we can do this to show that it's going to help you and the company. Then let's execute it. And so I save you time and money, not just on the short term in doing this one process, but also help the organization from a strategic level. So
Boom.
my job is really, it's not just telling people what to do. It's really more of helping them help themselves.
Boom.
Some of the tools, whether having a CAM certification, EVMS, Lean Six Sigma, continuous process improvement, culture of accountability. Man, I have quite a few different certifications, but it's not about that. It's being able to put all that together to say, how can I help you do your job in research and development? You with engineering and science, you in the lab, you over here in regulatory.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, um, where are you located at, Kevin? Where do you live?
Believe it or not, I'm right down the street from this big old Navy base in Oceanside,
Oh,
California.
okay, yeah, okay, good.
Uh,
So
So, so
I asked this of everyone. If I'm somebody getting out the military, um, and I'm interested in your field, is it okay to give them your email address so they can
all
send
right,
an email
please,
or?
please reach out. please reach out. I mean, there's not only just that, there's a slew of different benefits that the military offers for transitioning soldiers. So it's not just the training. There's education. There's different things. I mean, there's a slew of different things that I can offer that a lot of people offer to me because I went up, like I said, I shake a hand. That's one thing I'm not scared to do, and I would say it's helped me way more times than it's hurt. One or two people look at me funny, but 12 to 20 people will be like, oh man, yeah, let me show you. Let me show you. There's so many people that want to tell their story. They're
Yep.
just given the opportunity, or no one lets them know that they care about what they have to say.
That's awesome. So what is your email? And I'll put it in the comments of the video. What's the best email for someone to reach you at, Kevin?
It's Kevin, Kevin, .philip, and that's PHILIP, .Jackson, JACKSON, @gmail.com.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Man, thank you so much, man. Great info. I love the resume. I have, like I said, I've done about 35 of these, and I have no one talk about that resume aspect. And I really think about it because, like you said it, if you can't even get in the front door to sell yourself in person, I mean, like, you ain't got no shot. I don't care. I don't care how much you know, what you've studied, what you can do. If you can't get in front of somebody to offer you your position, unless you go and start your own company, obviously. But if you're looking for right, I mean, honestly, right, unless you can't get in front of nobody, it ain't gonna do you no good, man. Having all that skill set. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to throw in here at the end, Kev? Or?
I would just say, honestly, keep on fighting, man. And regardless of what anyone thinks, know that the military has really set you up and given you a lot of life skills and lessons. So while it may have seemed hard while you were in, if you really think back to some of your drill sergeants, some of your instructors, some of your teachers, some of the corporals, some of the, whoever you were under, the sergeant, you would have learned so much and done so much if you could have retained just a piece of what they've given you and applied that to the civilian world. So I think people always say that you have to keep those things totally separate, but I think that you can take a lot of what you learn from the military and apply it, because one thing I think that we've learned to do in the military is we're so adaptable to our environment, where I think maybe not as the majority of civilians are not. They something happens and that's it. They hit a wall and they crash, and I think we learn in particular under pressure how to keep going. So
boom. I love it, man. I love it. Well, thank you, Kevin, man, for taking the time, man. I know it's Friday, I know it's almost the weekend. Go spend time with that beautiful family of yours, your beautiful little girl.
Dad.
So like I said, my name's Elder Reyes. This is the Vet Blueprint. This is the Vet Blueprint YouTube channel. Please, if you watched this video and you found it useful, comment, subscribe, hit the like button so we can blow this thing up. Also,
boy Elder, watch this thing, y'all.
Thanks, Kevin. Also, Kevin gave you his email if you wanted, information about just maybe getting into his career field, or just it sounds like he has a huge technical background. He says he has a lot of resources to help you out with. Reach out to him via email. I could just tell you, I've done okay, and it's because a lot of vets helped me when I got out, man. Whether it was introducing me here, or kind of pointing me in this direction, or grabbing me in when I may have kind of went sideways sometimes or whatnot. And we all need somebody. That's what this channel is all about, guys. So like it, watch it, subscribe to my channel, reach out to Kevin if you're in Oceanside or just have questions about him or want to chat with him. He gave you his email. I'm going to leave it in the comments. VetBlueprint.com, Vet Blueprint YouTube channel. Thank you so much.